back to the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy. I'm back today with a pick a card reading for you. Welcome to my beautiful new subscribers this month. Thank you guys so much for following. Thank you guys so much for your presence here and your support of me and each other in the comment section. A big welcome back to my returning subscribers. You guys are amazing. That's all I have to say. You guys are just amazing. So thank you guys so much for your friendship. And if you have found yourself here for the very first time, we would love for you to join us and join our beautiful soul family here by subscribing. And if you do subscribe, be sure to drop me a comment below, because I do offer a chance to win a free reading with me for everyone who drops me a comment below any of my videos during the month. And I will be drawing that name shortly, actually, so be sure to hit your notification bell. But today's pick a card reading, if you are here, obviously you're here for the pick a card readings, because that's what I do here. I do pick a card readings on this channel, so please pull up, grab yourselves some snacks, and get cozy, because we're going to have a little bit of a chat. Today's pick a card topic is the person on your mind. What are they dying to tell you? What's something that they have to get off of their chest? What are they dying to say to you? We have 3 piles for you to choose from today. Pile number 1 here with the Rider-Waite traditional tarot with the red feather. Pile number 2 with the Impressionist tarot with the yellow feather. And pile number 3 with the turquoise feather and the Shadowscapes tarot. So whichever pile or piles or feathers are calling your name, there may be a message waiting from Spirit today. You can pause the video if you need more time to reflect upon the pile, but my timestamps will be listed below. And I'm going to jump right into pile number 1. I'm going to take a moment here, though, to, again, give a little bit of a preemptive warning to the scammers and the different people that do pose as different tarot channels, including the Tarot Cottage, in the comment section of Instagram, YouTube, and these are not affiliated with me or with other channels in any way. So please protect yourselves if they reach out to you. I do not DM people offering readings, so if that happens and they are claiming to be me, please be sure to check with me with any of the links below this video. But I'm going to jump right into pile number 1. Again, today's topic is all about the person on your mind and what are they dying to tell you. Pile 1. Hi, pile 1. You were drawn to the red feather or to the traditional Rider-Waite, and this is your reading. The person on your mind, what are they dying to tell you? Maybe this is in no contact. Maybe it's just a crush situation. They just don't have the courage to step forward. But we're going to see what are they dying to say to you today. We're going to start with tarot and use a bunch of message cards before we finish with a charm bowl, of course. What are they dying to tell? Pile number 1. Oh, the Empress. Ooh, the Empress comes out first. The 6 of Wands with the Devil. They're scared to say this, first of all. They pretend like they're really confident, but they're scared to tell you about how abundant they think you are in every single way. And we're talking about beauty, grace, charisma, smarts. It's like you are a triple, quadruple threat. However many threats you want to add to that, that's what you are to this person. And they're just they feel so attracted to you. It's like they can't stop themselves. And I feel like this person is really good at pretending like they don't care, or they do their best to try to pretend like you don't see the insecurity in them or the attraction that they have towards you, because they're not convinced that you feel the exact same way. In fact, they're pretty confident that they like you a lot more than you like them. You can see that the Divine Masculine's all lit up here, but she's just embers. I don't think that they're saying things 100% clearly there, because their insecurity is clouding that, but they definitely think that you are the best thing since sliced bread. That's what they want to say first. And how you should feel so confident with yourself. And if you don't, it's such a disservice and such a waste of an experience. That's what they're saying. It's such a waste of an experience, because they're dying to tell you that you are it. It's like you are the top tier. The star is a leading force, right? We wish upon the star. We follow the star to get to, you know, the abundance at the end. You know, the shepherds and the kings, they followed that star to get to the baby Jesus, which was salvation. Like, this is somebody who focuses upon you very, very hard. And they feel like they're wasting time too. It's like you are such a commodity, it feels like. They want you, and so they're worried that they're wasting time. 5 of Swords. They're also sort of convincing themselves It's like they're dying to express this to you, but they're convincing themselves that you won't be as interested, or that you're going to reject them, or it's going to blow up in their face. There's a sense of impatience coming in too. And they also are dying to tell you that they felt like this for a while. Like this person has felt like this for a significant amount of time. Yeah, even the Six of Pentacles. They're dying to tell you all of this, and they're dying to have things move forward in your connection, but they're so anxious that it's all one-sided. They're so anxious that it's all one-sided. Here's the Death energy underneath the Chariot. I'm going to clarify this message before I move forward. They want to know, is it mutual? Do you feel the same way? Is there even a chance? Because I just heard, so you're saying there's a chance. It's like even if you gave them a breadcrumb of hope, it would be enough. It would be enough to keep them focused on you. Three of Wands, because they are so focused on you, and what they truly want from you is more. More. It's everything too. It's not just fire. It's not just, you know, physical desire. It's building with you. It's building a foundation. It's growth. The High Priestess. And they're so scared. They're so scared to tell you how they feel. And so they sit upon this information, just gathering it all up. And you seem to be this big temptation to this person too. And they really want to say that too. They're dying to tell you how tempted they are by you. Seven of Pentacles. And as much as the Seven of Pentacles can talk about frustrating delays and impatience, I feel like they're frustrated, but it's with themselves. Four of Wands. Back of the deck is the King of Swords and the Three of Swords. There's the Hermit. This person is dying to tell you exactly how they feel. And they could be an Aquarius coming through with this King of Swords. Perhaps Libra. Very strong Libra energy here as well. Capricorn energy. There's a certain amount of heartbreak here with the Three of Swords. There's a certain amount of sadness in the present because they feel that they have to suppress and they have to just hope and wish for you. Because there's also this feeling of conflict. It's like they're fearing conflict for themselves. They're fearing the rejection. They're feeling conflict in general if they bring forward this information. But what is really being executed here is that the possibilities for expansion are there too. So they're sort of stuck between this rock and a hard place of like, do I risk it? Do I risk my position? Do I risk speaking up when there's so much to gain, but I have so much potentially to lose too? It's like they're making a plan though. This person's making a plan to want to reveal themselves. They're making a plan of what practical steps they have to take in order to execute shifts and changes here, because they definitely want movement. And that's something that they really want you to know. And if they're restricted by something other than just fear, they're trying to come up with solutions there too. They're trying to come up with practical solutions to add more force to the dream, to apply more actual steps to the physical dream. Because you challenge them, your influence. They want you to understand that your influence is enough to make them start back at square one, is enough to make them kind of take a situation where they've invested a lot of time and energy into and go back to square one. That's the type of influence you have over this person, because they think that there's so much potential here with you. There's so much potential here with you, and they're just dying to let you know that they see it, and they're dying to let you know so that you don't slip away and that you don't get this impression that they do not care, which I feel like sometimes I feel like you may get that impression from this person because they wear masks in their environment and they feel restricted by that environment. And that environment doesn't have to be physical, but it can be. Take it as it resonates to your situation, because I'm dealing with collective energy. It definitely can be something. They could be in a position in their life where they are attached in some way. It may not just be the fear of the unknown. It may be an actual attachment that makes them worry about conflict. But it doesn't stop the focus that they have on you, and it doesn't stop them from that drive for change. We have peace. That's what they want. That's what they're dying for, is a peace to this, because who wants to sit in this energy forever, in a sense of heartbreak, in a sense of separation or loss, dissolving unwanted or disturbing thoughts. And they want to dissolve those disturbing thoughts for you too, especially, again, if you're the type of person that you really internalize the perception, internalize the situation as it stands. You are a temptation. You are the temptress. So it says seduction, deceit, and a broken promise. And that will not resonate for everyone, but that may resonate for someone watching who may be in an attachment, or this person is in an attachment. We have here the sacred journey, life cycles, family, and transformation. There's definitely something special about how they feel about you. There's something, it defies their reason, because the King of Swords wants to be very logical, see things from the highest perspective, very reasonable, but this connection defies their reason. And they feel like there should be a certain amount of satisfaction where they're sitting, but they don't have that satisfaction right now. And they want solutions here. I will say this too, for someone watching, this is not for everyone, but for someone watching, this person or you could classify yourself as being a part of a karmic marriage. So take that as it resonates. What are they dying to tell you? What is this person dying to tell you? If I asked you to stay, would you leave? So this card really speaks to someone who may be in an attachment. If they asked you to take a risk with them, would you take a risk with them? It's like they're testing the waters. It's like you can see with the star, just dipping our toe in, just testing the waters here to see what is possible on your end versus what is possible for them. I am coming, trust. This person's trying to manifest you. What are they dying to say? They're dying to tell you. They want to know if you think about them in the same way. Is it a mutual thing? And they're pretty confident that you don't. We have wrongful advice, it's reversed. But again, they're confident that you don't because they're trying to see things from their perspective of logic. It's not the truth, even though it's their truth. It's just a version of it. So they are convincing themselves that it's one-sided. But that just gives us permissions for delays. I'm open to compromise, the Two of Pentacles, and happiness is my priority. This card comes out, it's not always their happiness that is their priority, and I feel like that may resonate with someone because the Two of Pentacles is talking about juggling a lot of responsibilities. Your feelings and your emotions and how they feel about you being one of those things, and it acknowledges that they feel like they have to do something about it. They have to figure this out, but they don't know how or when they're going to be able to figure out that compromise, how they're going to level out their feelings for you as well as their position. What are they dying to tell for pile number 1, please? What are they dying to tell you? That we will be together again. That they are trying to manifest solutions. And we saw that with the Hermit. This person is actively trying to come up with practical solutions to alleviate, in the very least, the suffering of the Three of Swords, the disappointment. I'm not available. So take that as it resonates, especially if this person on your mind is in an attachment of some kind. They're starting to understand the connection. They're not there yet. I will say that. As I said, they're a very pragmatic person. The High Priestess is just a support. So they're starting to have these downloads, but they don't trust them all of the time. They don't trust them all of the time. But they do, because they're a logical person, they do figure that even the amount of focus that they have on you and the inability to shake it must mean something. Must mean something different than what they've experienced in the past. So many things remind me of you. But I worry because I feel you leaving me behind. And they feel like they've given you the impression that they haven't cared in the past, and they don't want you to internalize that and that being a reason for you to leave the connection or leave your feelings behind. Because the truth is that they care very, very much. Very, very much about you. Let's get a couple of written messages here as well. What is pile one's person dying to tell them? What do they want to say? They want to know if you remember them. Do you think about me too? Do you even remember me? And these are the unwanted thoughts. That's a terrible thought of feeling like you're completely forgettable and that no one would recall you. They're kicking themselves for not acting towards you in the past the way that they should have. They want to know, did you ever feel the same way about me that I feel about you? Because, I mean, out of the gate, you're the Empress. Out of the gate. There's no better card to get than her. Out of the gate. It's about abundance. You don't even have to resonate with divine feminine energy. It's just about the top tier. You could be the emperor, but it's about the top tier. And they can't, like, when we put somebody up on a pedestal like that, it's really hard for us to feel like we can match that. Are these feelings mutual? This person is really insecure about that. I remember every detail of you. And I fell so hard and so fast for you. And I want you, but I just can't. And that's what they really want to say. Back of the deck says we look good together, but I want you, but I just can't do anything about it. And but they're working on it. I feel like for someone watching, not for everyone, unfortunately, but for someone watching, they're working on it. They're working on a solution. This could take a long time, though. This could take time to come up with a solution, especially if the solution is involving having to defragment some sort of karmic situation as well. So take that as it resonates. Let's get a charm bowl for you, pile one. What is your person dying to say to you in the bowl today? What do they want to get off of their chest? The Knight of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles reversed, the Three of Cups. There's definitely this desire for reunions, and that's what they really want to express to you, is that they know it's been a long time, and that's what it feels like. It's been such a long time, but I want to see you again because you represent this period of life that was free and exciting and joyful, and it's like you guys are in very different walks of life right now, or you are very different, but it's just that that's what they love about you, is that you're different. There's also a certain amount of loyalty that they have towards you, and they want you to know that too. They want you to know that they are loyal to you, and that even as a friend, I just heard I'll always be there for you. I'll always be your friend always. That's what I just heard, your friend always. So there's a loyalty there that will always be present. And this Seven of Pentacles again is talking about pause points in our journey. It's about impatience. It's reversed though, so it's like this person, I feel like, it's like they're intending, or they have this premonition of upheavals coming. You inspire them, or you give them reasons to fantasize about uprooting what they've already planted. Whoa, the chain. The chain came out. It's all tangled up. The chain was tangled in this horseshoe, or wishbone rather. It's a wishbone with the rose. And I think about St. Teresa because I was talking to St. Teresa when I found that rose. We have the letter T. We have and. We do have the devil chain. I think of Capricorn and I think about attachments. So take that as it resonates. We have Chewbacca in the bowl. And that for me is a symbol of somebody with a very narrow, nerdy type of interest. So cosplay or League of Legends or Star Wars, something like that. We have peace here, wanting to bring in closure. We also have, they definitely want to communicate with you about how special you are. There's the unicorn. You're singular. There's no one like you. They have a double-edged razor being caught between a rock and a hard place, and two people on the same sort of journey. It's like you're both equally wanting each other. That's what it feels like. We also have the iron, domestic energy, but also needing to clarify things and iron things out between the two of you. All right, pile number one, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonates with you. If it did, I'd love to hear your story below in the comment section. And if you do drop me a comment, be sure to subscribe and hit your notification bell so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me. I will be drawing that name at some point this week, so be sure to hit your notification bell in case I choose you and I can get a hold of you in the comment section. But I also offer private readings through my Etsy account, and that link is below. And I have a link down there for Instagram. I have a bunch of links down there, so you can check those out as well. But I hope that you come back here for another visit at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile 2. You were drawn to the yellow feather or to the Impressionist Tarot, and this is your reading. The person on your mind, what are they dying to tell you? What are their true feelings? What are they dying to say to you right now? So this could be a no contact, or perhaps it's a crush situation, but what are they dying for you to know? The King of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords. Now, Spirit just said that there's a reason why you were drawn to the yellow feather, because there's fear here. There's fear with this person to bring forward the truth. We have here the Hanged Man. The Moon. Oh, they're just so apologetic for not stepping out of their comfort zone in the past for you, pile 2. They're just so upset with themselves, and they're dying to tell you that. They're dying to tell you how silly they feel, how stupid they feel, truly, because they're like, oh my gosh, look what I've sacrificed. They're so, it's like the truth hit them hard. The truth hit them hard, and it took them some time to have that truth even come in for them. It was like a shot, like an epiphany. Can we clarify the King of Pentacles? Yeah. Oh my gosh, they're so upset, because that's really what they're bringing forward right now with this energy of what do they want to say, what are their truest feelings, is the fact that they let internal conflict get in the way of destiny. And that's what they're saying. They're calling it destiny between the two of you. It was fate. And it's like, I got in the way of fate, which really sort of speaks to the truth of how we create our own fate, you know. But they really let the fear of the unknown and this fear of kind of like blowing up the connection or blowing up their position in the past, they let it get in the way, and then that ship sailed away from them. You can even see in the Five of Swords that ship off in the distance just going away, because we just kept anticipating every worst case scenario. And ultimately, by the time the truth hit them, by the time they were ready, it's like there was already an ending, or it had already shifted or repositioned itself, the connection. Seven of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. They're dying to tell you that they wish they had put in more effort to the connection in the past. And they also want to acknowledge that you sort of waited a long time for that too. It's like they really waited. And it really took them a while to have that epiphany come in as well. And there is even a message coming in about how one or both of you took advantage of other opportunities, or just refused to sort of wait any longer. You refused to wait any longer. You have the Strength. And there's a certain amount of frustration now that they feel with themselves. And they are taking responsibility for it too. And they want you to know that they're taking responsibility for the current state of the connection. Like I take full responsibility. I wasn't strong enough. I wasn't courageous enough. And I'm paying for it too. They also want to say to you that they're still burdened by the unknown. That it haunts them now. Because they wonder if it's still a possibility, if it's still a mutual thing, if it's even still on the chopping block, so to speak, if it's still even an option. And there's even, oh, there's Nine of Swords. Here is the Page of Swords, and we have the Sun. They're also sort of dying for clarification from you too. They're really wanting to bring about the clarity about their past and how they how they hesitated, but they're also really, they're wondering about you. They're wondering about your perception or your experience, or how you perceived the whole scenario between the two of you in the past. They watch you as well, I feel. They could watch your social media. They could watch you online. You may have gone to school with this person, but I feel like they may have been a smidgen older than you, and that's just for someone specific. That's just a message coming in. That's for someone specific, but you may have gone to school with this person here, because they look backwards all the time. They're always thinking about the past when it comes to you. And it's a ruminating energy. It's like it's overthinking consistently. It floats into the dream realm. It's still a burden that they carry, and they want you to know that they haven't forgotten about you. That's the other thing. It's like they want you to know, they're very desperate to tell you that I haven't forgotten about you, and I hope that you haven't forgotten about me. There's they protect it. There's a sense of protection too. It's like, I protect this connection. I protect this epiphany at this time. They have certainly a certain amount of surrender to the position. They do hope that you're really happy. That's the other thing too. They wouldn't want you to feel the way that they're feeling, because they're feeling a lot of worry, and they ruminate and they lose sleep. They don't want that for you. There's a certain amount of protection that they bring forward to you, and they keep bringing that up. And they're dying to let you know that they care, and that it's like this permanent state. They're just also really, I don't know that they can figure out solutions. I feel like they have really surrendered to the situation at hand. They definitely want you to know that they learned their lesson. That's what's really coming through. It's like, I just want you to know that I have learned my lesson here when it comes to you and me. And it hurts. And I've even heard that in my head. If it's any consolation to your experience, it really hurts me. It's kind of like, if it makes you feel any better, I'm in a lot of pain. And there's a sense of them feeling like you might be justified by that information, but I feel like that's not who you are anyway. It's not like you're not reveling in someone else finally seeing, what was sitting right in front of them the whole time. That's not you. But they're saying that. They're like, if it makes you feel any better, I'm suffering now because of the boneheaded move or lack of moves that I didn't make in the past. And they spend a lot of time thinking about it too. We have here, trust the situation is calling for you to have faith. And we have playfulness, to capture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. This feels like a really strong flirtation in the past too. And I think you guys were both gorgeous people. The King of Pentacles is often a very attractive person as well. And there's a certain amount of, maybe even a cat and mouse game, just a lot of flirtation, a lot of back and forth, a lot of attraction here as well in the back of the deck. And as I said, I don't feel like this person knows what to do at this point. They just kind of surrendered to the lesson, and they're really kind of putting it over to fate. They're kind of giving it back over to the fate of the connection, because they feel like they've learned their lesson. And they want you to know, they're dying to tell you that I've learned my lesson, and now it's like I'm not going to get in the way of fate and my own experience anymore because of that lesson. So they've surrendered. They've surrendered here, and they do hope for new opportunities. I don't feel like they're necessarily holding their breath for them, but they'll never close that door. They'll never close that door, and they'll always sort of be hoping, because there's the protection element that keeps coming through as well. What are they dying to tell? Pile 2, please. Harmony. It says power, self-confidence, and productivity. And there's sort of this certain amount of disharmony with this card sometimes, because sometimes power, gets in our own way, or our sense of power, or trying to maintain control of the situation, it can create almost a taproot of insecurity inside of us, which can affect the productivity here. And that's a lesson that they've learned, that they have to create a balance, that their self-confidence could have been their biggest asset in that moment. We have here, thinking of you. That's what they want you to know. This is a loving thought and serendipity. They do feel very fated towards you, and they want you to know that. They want you to understand that they get it now. They didn't get it then, and they understand that you were probably frustrated and impatient, and you couldn't wait around forever for them to kind of make a distinction or make up their mind. But they want you to know that they are thinking about you and that they have come to a full awareness. They see the attraction. They can't keep their eyes off of it. And they do wonder if you think about if this has sort of affected you at all in the same way. What are they dying to tell pile 2, please? What do you even see in me? And I'm waiting for the right time. And I feel like that sort of, because of their own insecurity, they may have presented themselves in the past as being really confident, but they weren't. And it was the hesitation that really showed their true colors. It really showed their fear of getting rejected. And ultimately, I feel like it ended up biting them. And it ended up, they waited too long. Time waits for no one. I'm patiently waiting for the right time. And now there's a certain amount of embracing of the journey of as it stands today with the Temperance card. They still, as I said, they're not closing the door to future opportunities because the Temperance wants to be mixed together. It wants to be alchemized. We have you give me a heart on. We also have, is this really over? It's the Ten of Swords reversed. They do not want to believe that. They do not want to believe that it could be over. They want forgiveness too. Oh, they want forgiveness from you so that they can hopefully move forward. They feel like perhaps if they had that forgiveness, they'd be able to move on for their indecision. That they couldn't make up their mind, and they're really sorry for that. What are they trying to tell pile 2, please? Please don't give up on us, because I am not the same person that you remember me being. I've grown, I've evolved, I've learned. I'm watching you from the outside, keeping tabs, as I said, on your social media. I have things left that I would like to say. They'd love to have some closure. They'd love to say sorry. There's definitely a sorry element coming through here. And they want you to know that they do fantasize about you. Back of the deck, the biggest takeaway here they want you to know is that they know that they made a big, big mistake. And it's really important for them to kind of express that too. It's like, I know I made a huge, huge mistake here. What are they dying to tell pile number 2, please? Where have you been? This could have been a very long-standing no contact situation as well. I was wearing a mask. I am wearing a mask. And I think that I'm still in love with you. It's hard to detach from the emotional connection when we continue to watch. We continue to put ourselves, it's almost like they're torturing themselves by watching you. You don't see it, but I think you're perfect. And I can still hear your laugh. You could have had a very unique laugh. Whoops. Is this connection real? Did you feel it too? And have you moved on from me? Do you still feel the same way? Are you still connected in the same way that this person is? That's what they're really worried about and focused upon. We have I love you, but on the back of the deck. And I feel like they loved you then. I feel like they loved you then. I feel like they loved you still. Just like that old adage, I always have, I always will. But I really feel like it was those caveats, those buts, those reasons why we give ourselves not to act in that moment. We always give it's like procrastination, it felt like, with this person. What does this person want to say right now to pile number 2 in the bowl? Whoops, I missed it. We got a bunch, so let's pull them here. 9 of Swords. They want to tell you that they think about you constantly and they're tired of holding back. They're tired of holding back. It's like once they got that epiphany, they don't want to hold back, but they don't, it's like they know perhaps that looking backwards isn't good for them. They kept their feelings to themselves, And even to this day, I feel like they suppress how they feel. It's a very inner battle that they wage against themselves. But they want to heal. They want to return to the world. It's like they want to have a new emotional cycle, and they wish in their fantasies of fantasies, they wish that that new beginning would include you. Ooh, we have the wishbone again, and that came out in pile number 1, actually, with the sword, or I'm sorry, the rose of hope. It's also a rose of empowerment. I think about St. Teresa when I see that rose. We have the 6 of Wands, which is someone who's wearing masks and acting very victorious. F and J and C in the bowl for initials potentially. We do have the engagement ring, and I choose strength with the Leo. So Leo energy very strong with this person. We have yin yang. We have the 2 of Cups, which is a soulmate energy. And we have here the honeybee. The honeybee is a symbol of self-sacrifice for me, and sometimes the sweet results that await us when we put in effort for the good of other people. All right, pile 2, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonated with you. If it did, I'd love to hear your story below in the comment section. And if you do drop me a comment, be sure to subscribe and hit your notification bell so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me. And I will be drawing that name this week sometime, so be sure to hit that notification bell so that I can contact you if you're chosen. You can also check me out for a private reading on Etsy, and that link is below. And I have a bunch of links down there that you can check out. But I do hope that you come back here for another visit at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile 3. You were drawn to the turquoise feather or to the Shadowscapes Tarot, and this is your reading. The person on your mind, what are they dying to tell you? What are their truest feelings? What do they want to get off of their chest right this moment when it comes to you? We'll start with tarot, and we'll move into message cards before we finish with your charm bowl. What are they dying to tell you? King of Cups and the High Priestess. Oh my, they're hiding this. They're keeping it suppressed, but they have deep, deep love for you. Deep love for you that they're afraid to execute. There's also a certain amount of temptation surrounding you in some way. And they feel like they've been really patient to express this too. It's like it's been a long time that they felt this way for you. We have the World. They really want to express to you that they've loved you for a really long time and that they were afraid to express it. And there's unfinished business because of that fear, and because of that fear in leaping, fear in taking a little bit of a risk. And there was so much potential, because as I stared at this configuration with the World, it almost looks like a yolk with an egg for me. It just turned into a yolk. It's like we should have cracked it open, and now it's like I'm helpless to create change. They also want you to know that they spend a lot of time reflecting about you and thinking about you, that it almost feels like a daily thing for this person, and they want you to know that. 8 of Pentacles and the Star. And we have the Page of Cups. Back of the deck is the 5 of Wands and the 5 of Pentacles. There's very similar energy here to pile 2, actually. There's a sense of remorse coming in because of not acting in time, and they're taking responsibility for their position now. The fact that they kind of put themselves here, they do focus upon you a lot. And you're still, you know, we have the star energy here for a reason. There's Aquarius really strong here. So you could be an Aquarius, but it's literally like somebody who's put up on a pedestal. So it's literally like a celebrity. Someone that they kind of wish upon, that feels really far away though. And that's what they want to express, is that you feel so far away and it's not far enough. It makes me think of that Bridgerton scene where he's like, do you think you could go to the corner of the world that would be far enough? And that's what it says. It's not far enough for me to detach. You're still a temptation here. They want you to know that they still think about new emotional starts with you. We have the 2 of Swords and the Chariot and the Lovers. There's a big energy here of indecision and choices to be made, of seeing things clearly, And yet, you know, it's interesting because they're saying, I see things clearly now when it comes to you. But Spirit says that their constant reflection into the past makes it so that it steals their focus a little bit here, because of that temptation, because of that focus on the attraction. They do want to say that they wish that they could create change, but they don't know how. Not that there aren't solutions, but they don't know how, and they are kind of lost in that mourning phase. They're stuck in this state of mourning. Even with the Chariot, you can see both of those horses are looking at each other, looking back at their driver. They have no idea which direction to head into. And they want you to know that they like, I have no idea what direction I should head in to create solutions so that I can make this a possibility for myself. And so the Knight of Swords wants to charge in to this temptation, and they want you to know that I dream about being reckless. I dream about charging in and throwing caution to the wind, but I need to gather more information. I need to think this through. Back of the deck is the Three of Pentacles and the Moon. And the Eight of Swords. They definitely have a lot of masks that are coming off in this card reading that they never took off before. And even with the moon here, you can see by the light of the moon, all of these mushrooms are growing very, very, very slowly. So it's like it could have been longevity, or there could be a long period of no contact here, for instance, that helped bring them to these epiphanies about the deepness of their love. They are also communicating about how they were really... They want to say that they're sorry for being so suppressive about how they felt in the past and being so indecisive. Because it's like, that was a little decision that I could have made, and now I have huge decisions that I have to make. It's like I had tiny, tiny little inconveniences that I had to work around then, one of which was my fear of just being exposed for my feelings and dipping my toe in a pool of vulnerability and being worried about not getting caught. But now there seems to be more issues at hand, more decisions to be made, more complications to navigate through. And so there's a message coming through about the remorse over that, about they're kicking themselves a little bit because they're realizing that avoiding that little obstacle has now sort of created a mountain out of what was a molehill. And now with the Knight of Swords, they want you to know that I dream about charging in towards you with this attraction, with my truth as well, with my truth. But I feel like I can't. I feel stuck. And they could be wearing masks in their environment right now, and they want you to know that too, that appearances are deceiving from the outside. So for someone watching, you may have privy information about what this person's personal life right now entails, in which case they feel really restricted there. But you can see it's a swan sitting up on a nest filled with dead swans. And she's feeling stuck. And here's the Four of Wands, and that's what we sort of stopped ourselves from heading into. Is we stopped this beautiful progression from that ugly duckling phase into this beautiful, beautiful swan. It's like we could have had it all. There's the Ten of Cups. We could have had it all by just taking off my mask and not felt so restricted. What could we have built together? And they're really, I feel like they feel restricted now because of their environment. Could still be because of fear, could be because of their environment. They still feel restricted, but they don't want to give up that hope. It's like they're still in the process of gathering more information, and they want you to know that I haven't closed the chapter. It's not over for me. It's not over for this person. What are they dying to tell? Pile number 2, please. Or it's number 3. We have here Night Wind. It says, facing fear, subconscious release, and healing. And they do think about you a lot in the evening. And they do, you know, even with the moon, it's about dreamings and how you could be infiltrating their dream realm, because they're not able to always navigate through all of their thoughts and feelings about you during the day. So that's the time when our subconscious is able to really work through all of our fears and worries and insecurities. There is an acknowledgement coming in, you know, with the Lovers. It's about looking at things from a logical perspective, from every single angle, so that we can see the truth instead of being sort of held back by our own emotions and our own fears. And their higher self does communicate to them the necessity for them to heal and to move forward, because they do definitely feel stuck in place. They don't feel happy to me. This person doesn't feel really happy in general at this moment. We have the Temptress. This is the second time this card has come out today. As I said, it feels like there's a lot of complications here that they're not insurmountable, but they're big. You know, they have a lot of consequences, both good and bad, if we navigate around them. So it's not insurmountable, but you are this temptation to this person. And we have Sacred Journey on the back of the deck, life cycles, family, and transformation. That card's the second time, and it came out with the Temptress too. So very similar qualities to pile, I think 2 or 1. I don't remember. But it's like they believe that the two of you are divinely guided. We started with the King of Cups, which is a soulmate energy. Someone who's very emotionally invested, but sometimes feels the necessity to turn their back on their emotions because of their responsibilities, because they feel like weaknesses or emotions are weakness. You know, we've kind of fueled that collective belief into the divine masculine, which is such a disservice to them, that emotions are weakness and the only acceptable emotion is anger. But that's not the truth. Emotions and vulnerability are actually strength. That's the biggest strength that we can show. What are they dying to say to pile number 3, please? We have here finances and career are a factor right now. And wedding, the situation involves marriage. You know, when we're dealing with the Chariot, the Lovers, these are about decisions and choices, you know. This is the 3 of Pentacles can be a foundation's already in place. So if this resonates with you, that this person or you yourself could be in a marriage or be in a connection where there's entanglements in the finances, and that's another reason why your person is coming forward saying that the temptation is there, but I can't act upon it because I have this I have to face the consequences of my actions if I step outside that realm. And they are feeling restricted. Free yourself. They're dying to tell you that appearances are deceiving in those environments, though, that it doesn't negate the uniqueness of you. Just because they feel suppressed or are restricted from being able to act upon that desire or that attraction, it doesn't negate the fact that they feel that you are really, really special. What are they dying to say to pile number 3, please? What are their truest thoughts and feelings? We have, I was in denial. I didn't see what was sitting right in front of my face, and I had blinders on when it came to you. And I feel like their higher self was really communicating with them at that time too, really trying to get them to see you for what the potential could be here. I can tell that you don't trust me, and I want to change that. They say, I do think about the future and I think about you in it. And that's exactly what they're saying, that they still don't want to let go of this connection. They want you to know that I still think about and fantasize about you in my future here. You have always been by my side, and I do cherish you for that. And this is not in a physical sense. They want you to know, they're dying to tell you that just because there's been a separation doesn't mean that you've ever left them. It doesn't mean that they've ever left that. And it reminds me of that story by Maya Angelou when she was talking about her mother dying, how she told her mother when she was dying, because she was holding on, that she was free to go, basically, and that, you know, I love you, period, and I can love you if you're in heaven, I can love you if you're in Kansas, I can love you no matter where you are. And that's what this person is really saying, that they've loved you no matter where you've been. You have been a constant influence in their life. I've been putting myself first, and I see that it's only hurt me more. In the past, their indecision may have served them in the moment because it saved them from some potential denial or some potential refusal. But ultimately, that situation, it's like putting a bandage on a festering wound a little bit. The infection still is there, can still take root, and it still affects us moving forward if we don't kind of face the trial and jury when it's upon us, or face the opportunity when it's upon us. And this person has suffered because of that now. I don't want to hide this connection anymore. They don't want to hide how they truly, truly feel. Oops. What are their true thoughts and feelings, please? What are they dying to say? Pile number 3. I want to tell you exactly how I feel. They want to take those masks off and free themselves from, it feels like the burden of knowing what they know. Burden of knowing what they let slip through their fingers. So many things remind me of you, that they can't escape you no matter how they try. It's time for me to heal now, but it came reversed. I feel like they can't. And I don't think that it is time for them to heal because they're not giving up. It may be time for them to heal for their own journey and for their own comfort. It may be exactly what they need, but it's not what they want. They want more. They don't want to give up. I hid who I really am from you. Whoops. I couldn't let you get too close to me, but you speak to me through music now. And I feel like music is a big component of this person, or it's like a big component of your past together or something. And it's just a lot of songs bring them right back to a time and place with you. And they're really, really kicking themselves for not showing the true depth of their emotion back in the day. I'm starting to understand this connection. I'm ready for a fresh start. Well, no one has ever made me feel like you do. And they also, I just saw, where do I stand with you? Are these feelings mutual? They don't feel that confident. They don't feel as confident as they are in their feelings for you. Did you ever feel the same? I'm confused. I don't know how you feel. Oh my goodness. And I don't want to create havoc in your life right now. As much as they don't want to close the door, I don't necessarily see them having intent to move towards you either. It's like a respectful distance that I'm seeing here. Back of the deck says, you are like a breath of fresh air, especially for someone who feels like they are suppressed, especially for someone who feels like they've been in a prison. Thoughts of you and these memories of you flood them and are like a breath of fresh air. Let's get a charm bowl for you, pile number 3. What does this person wish to say to pile 3 right this moment? What are they dying to say in the bowl? We have the Chariot, the 4 of Cups, and the 4 of Wands reversed. Now, the 4 of Cups was your immediate energy in the middle, the sense of apathy. I don't feel like there's a lot of satisfaction surrounding the 4 of Cups either. It's like someone who's not really appreciating the life that they have right now because they're lost in a reflection phase for what they've lost or in the past. As I said, you know, we had the marriage card, and for someone watching, I definitely feel like this person could be connected to someone else, or perhaps you are, because the 4 of Wands is reversed here, and that's someone who's worried about arguments or leaving their home or just sort of relationships breaking down. And there's a sense of decision here too, the Chariot. It's ruled by Cancer. They want you to understand that it's not about what they want. It's about how are they going to get there. They know what they want. They just don't know how to find the courage or the power, the force to move that Chariot in the direction that they need to in order to create change without having a lot of havoc or wreaking a lot of havoc for you or for themselves right now. We have S and we have G. We also have here the guitar pick. We have my and sun. You are my sunshine. Oh. We have here the bananas, which is a friendship energy for me, and reunions. The divine feminine starfish, healing, gaining new insight, gaining a new pathway as well. We have slow handsaw. The handsaw is like a slow separation, slow realizations that set in as well. And we also have the hammer, putting in the effort. All right, pile 3, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonated with you. If it did, I'd love to hear your story below in the comment section, and I would love for you to subscribe. If you do decide to drop me a comment, be sure to subscribe and hit your notification bell so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me, because I will be drawing that name this week. You can also check me out for a personal reading through my Etsy link, and that link is below. And I have an Instagram link down there. I have a bunch of links you guys could check out if you feel called to. But I hope that you come back here for another visit at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day.